Hey, this is Daniel with another Kickstarter update. Sorry it's been a little while, but we've been doing lots of work. Probably the big milestone we're hitting now is that we've finished writing all the content for chapter one out of 6 chapters. And so we've been spending a lot of time on sort of fully building out all those maps and all that content. And then along with that, we've been working on sort of beefing up the engine and how we're integrating with Tiled, which is our map building software, and integrating that with what's in RenPy, which is our actual kind of game engine for building out normally a visual novel, but then we're building these map elements into it. So in a previous version, I talked about, or last video, I talked about how we figured out how to kind of stamp these sprites to sort of make this a lot richer. What we realized is that you can also stamp basically any game elements too. So we've now wired it up. So here's an example. These are triggers. So triggers are things like you walk onto them and then it triggers a label in RenPy, and a label is like a scene with dialogue and characters moving around. So previously we had to sort of like draw these boxes and manually enter text and do all this stuff. And it was kind of a bit of a pain. And also it was sort of visually harder to look at. Like we didn't have these images and this coloring that sort of lets you see exactly what's on the map. And then so part of this is we figured out how to add some custom commands to Tiled. So here we can just sync everything with Tiled so that like we don't have to do any funny stuff there. And then for example here, once you've put an object on here, you can go here and you can actually pick any label that's in the game and then like assign it that way. And I think we also did something like this. You can say add target label, and then you get this little interface where you can like filter and search for one. So it just should be so much easier to actually like build out the content of the map now. And we've got that figured out kind of with most of our game objects. So we've got triggers, and then we've also got NPCs. So here's like all the characters in the game, and now you can just sort of stamp them on the map. And that will take me to some of the puzzles that we've been working on. So we're going to have some of these kind of environmental puzzles where you're walking around. I talked about this last time. We're calling them something like navigation puzzles. So we have a codified set of what elements we want to be in them. It's things like switches and arrows, and there's a boulder that can bounce around, and then we're especially excited about these kind of stealth guards. So there's little guards that have paths, and you can walk around them. So one example here is now, oops, here. Now, say we have these boulders. So previously we had to sort of draw some boxes and manually enter text in and do all this kind of stuff that was pretty clunky. But now you can just go ahead and you can stamp these. And if you actually load the game up, this just like puts them right into the game. Another part of this is here. We kind of figured out how to associate objects more directly in RenPy. So for example, here, you can actually target other objects in the game. Oh, sorry, not RenPy, in Tiled. You can actually target other objects in the map. So for example, here we want this trigger to like trigger one of these blocks, and let's say we actually want it to trigger this other block. So you could go there and just like do it right in the map. And once again, this was something we were manually entering text in. It was really difficult. And one of the big goals is just to be able to make it easy to make these maps so that they're easy to iterate, and we can kind of figure out what's actually a fun way to make these puzzles. So this, I'm just kind of showing off here some of the test puzzles we're doing. We're trying out lots of stuff. We're testing them on people. We're trying to figure out combining different elements. We've got probably 4 to 6 elements we're feeling really good about. And then also we've just been working on kind of beefing up those elements and making sure the gameplay is super smooth for all of them. So let me just show one example. So this is an example of one of the navigation puzzles. We're trying to go for a little more kind of emergent style thing in this one in particular, where the guards are moving around, but you can push blocks that would sort of like interrupt their path. So here, I'm going to go here. And then this is something we're trying to make a bit more readable. So here the guard goes, and then, oh, he didn't do it. There we go. Okay, there. I know what happened. But so now if something goes into their path, they do this little frustrated shake, and then they have to refigure out where to go. So we're just trying to do lots of little things like that that just make it a bit more understandable what's going on and how you're kind of affecting the enemies. And then just some more of the little kind of nice animations we're adding in. So now if the guards see you, they sort of do this hop and land on you, and you get this kind of green burst. So it's just to sort of sell the whole animation more. Yeah, and that's mostly it. I don't want to show too much of the content we've been doing, just because it's kind of mild spoilers. Here's some examples of all the maps we've built out. This is kind of one of the first hub areas you're in, or kind of the main hub areas. Um, yeah, and I think that's it for now. So sort of the long and short of it is just iterating on maps. Kind of first chapter is all written, building out the content, and then just making sure it's easy for us to build out the content. And a big chunk of the engine code is actually done. So we're really excited about all the next stuff that's coming up. So thank you so much. Thanks for listening.